Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes so sweet and sexy. Have fun, enjoy the journey. Or just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade. Sipping motions and lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. Is a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Sack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Machegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proceed, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Hi. Hello, my friend. I don't know. It was really weird. Like my theme song was skipping. Was it skipping on your end too, or just on my end? That was so weird. And then it didn't. There was like a delay. I don't know, man. The ghosts are out. It's a crazy day. It's a crazy day. There was a verdict today on Tuerk, and I told you I had a conflict today. It's prom night over here, and so I have about an hour to spend with you until I have to go back and do the post prom. But of course, I knew this was going to happen when I was running around and busy doing the mom things and stuff. And, that made me kind of sad. That Katie McLean will never see maybe one of her daughters or maybe both of her daughters go to prom. Katie's children were 13, 17, and 18 the day that she was murdered, which was May 14th of 2020, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, and that makes me sad. And this verdict makes me sad, and we're going to talk about it. Let's, I'm going to play it. I mean, it's very quick. It's like 3 minutes. And then I want to talk about the differences between the Tuerk trial and the Karen Reed trial, because there's some glaring differences, glaring differences, in my opinion, stark differences, a lot of very, very, very different. So different. What a difference a judge makes. What a difference, it's the same courtroom. I could say what a difference a courtroom makes, but even in the same building, how two cases could be tried so very differently, and two judges could run their courtrooms so very differently. And if any of you watched the verdict on Law and Crime, did you see Clerk Jim from Cannoni's courtroom lurking in the back by the media? Did you see that? I mean, it was crazy. All right. So I'm assuming most of you know it already. So we're gonna watch it together, and then we're gonna talk about it. The chat, we took a poll last night. The chat was pretty much evenly split. Let me pull up the results from the chat from I think it was yesterday. Was it only yesterday? The jury was only out for 5 hours. I think they were out for an hour yesterday and something like maybe 4 hours today. And our poll in the chat, 1,500 votes, maybe a little more than 1,500 votes. 36% said that they would vote for second degree, or they would vote for second degree murder. 33% said voluntary manslaughter, and 30% said first degree murder. So you guys were real split on this. I don't know what the Law and Crime poll was, because we had like at least double the number of people watching over here than they had over there. So I don't know if they even did. It, a poll over there. But, the thing that kind of, I don't know, the way that, Reddington, and look, this is a credit to Reddington. He's a good attorney. The way he said in his closing, she went out and got this bogus restraining order. It was a bogus restraining. Well, I guess it wasn't really so bogus, because he did wind up killing her, right? So was it a bogus restraining order? Maybe not so much. Maybe those 209A orders in Massachusetts are really just a piece of paper because it didn't help her. It doesn't kind of prove the truth of the matter asserted, that it wasn't the first time, but it was the last time. And that's wicked sad, as you guys would say. Let's take a look at the live verdict as it came out. I mean, right? What is it, a bogus restraining order? Because in the end, oh really? In the end, he wound up killing her anyway. Really? I can see already some comments that need deleting. Some people that might need to go to Block Island. Yeah, they are just paper, and it's disturbing. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna watch the verdict come in from Law and Crime. I think it was around what 3 something today, 3:45 or so in the afternoon. Yeah, some people think that too, that the ADA was not very good. Let's watch the verdict because some of you are not on the cesspool of Twitter. You may not even know what the verdict is. So let's watch it together. And here we go. Here's Harry. Haircut, hammer, haircut, Harry. The old Norfolk County pokey barber did his hair with a hammer. Either that or he had a fight with a lawnmower and lost. And we'll listen to this clerk. I love this clerk. Her name's Margaret. Here we go. Let me know if you can hear it when the volume comes up on Law and Crime. Yesterday we saw a hot mic between Kevin Reddington, the attorney, and the defendant, Tuerk. And Reddington said, don't worry, you're going to see me soon. You're going to see me soon. You're going to see me effing soon. Don't worry. Like Harry was crying like he wasn't going to see Sturdy soon. And there was a hot mic going on, the lawnmower one. There was a hot mic going on and we heard everything going on in the courtroom. And then somebody said, oh no, I think they can hear us. And they shut it down. And then we didn't hear anything for the rest of the day. So here's Harry waiting. Jury came back. I don't know how long it took Reddington to get to the courtroom. And so there's that. So he's already been in jail for 5 years, and murder 1 carries life in prison without possibility of parole in Massachusetts. Murder 2, life in prison with possibility of parole. And voluntary manslaughter is up to 20 years, and he's already served 5. He would get credit for time served. Somebody put a comment in my chat that I forget what country that they were from, but they said that you get credit for time and a half served if you're detained prior to a trial, prior to a conviction. They're delivered, I think, in total for 5 hours. And jail kids, when the deputies stand behind you, you're getting locked up. He's wearing a shock vest, and they unshackled his hands and his legs, but he confessed. So we know that he did it. We knew they were going to find him guilty of something unless they just completely nullified. It's in Canada. Thanks, Fat, Dumb, and Happy. Oh, no, wait, was it Fat, Dumb, and Happy? Yes, it was. So we're just seeing him looking real nervous, like getting a little hot around the collar. Somebody told me they were in the courtroom and that it seems that he has like a lady in the courtroom who's like all over him trying to hug him, and the court officers were keeping her away. I'm sure he may have many jail pen pals. There's a word for that. What's it called? Hyperbristophilia or something. Women who who fall in love with men who are in jail. I think one of the Menendez brothers was married twice while he was in prison. They still are in prison. All right, so let's see. No spoilers because some people really haven't seen it yet. So if you guys could just hold off, that would be really nice of you. He's standing up. He's still waiting for his attorney. He's like, where are you, Kev? Where are you? There's Reddington. I noticed there were not a lot of seats filled in. This is the, just as it was in the Karen Reed trial, this is the victim's family sits facing the defendant. And these pews over here didn't seem to be very filled up today. Waiting for the judge. This is Judge Mark Hallal in Norfolk Superior Court. This case originally was assigned to Judge Cannoni, and then it was taken away from her, reassigned to Judge Hallal, and then, as was the Brian Walsh case, reassigned to a different judge, and then
Members of the jury.
Judge Cannoni was ordered to specifically keep the Karen Reed trial, retrial, repersecution. And here's when they come back.
You may.
Members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict? Yes. May I have the verdict slip, please?
6.5 hours, 5 hours. Maybe they didn't count lunch today. See, there's Clerk Jim. I think this is Clerk Jim. Look, sitting right. Look, watch at the media high top. Like, I think this is Clerk Jim here, right behind the court officer's head. We'll see better when he gets up and stands up.
Madam Foreperson, what say you as to indictment number 2020 CR 0138, charging the defendant Ingolf Tuerk with murder? Is he guilty of any offense charged?
He is.
Guilty of what?
He's guilty of voluntary manslaughter.
May the verdict be affirmed, Your Honor.
It may.
Voluntary
Members of the
manslaughter.
jury, hearken to your verdict as the court so recorded it. You on your oath do say that the defendant Ingolf Tuerk is guilty of the lesser included offense of voluntary manslaughter. So say you, Madam Foreperson?
Wait.
So say you all members of the jury?
Yes.
Thank you. May the verdict slip be filed and recorded.
It may be.
Voluntary manslaughter, the lessest.
All right, jurors, you can be seated.
Can I watch? Tuerk is going to say to
Yeah, for the
Reddington.
Superior Court and the trial court, I want to thank you for your time and sacrifice. Without your participation, our system does not work. So again, thanks for your time and sacrifice. It's my practice to come thank you personally in just a couple of minutes in the jury room. You have no obligation to stay. You are discharged, but I'll be in just a few minutes if you want to stay. And I want to thank you personally for your service. Okay.
All rise, please. Your Excellency.
There's a hot mic right there. Harry says to Kevin Reddington, did they say involuntary manslaughter? Like, he was so in shock that he didn't even hear what they said. I'm going to take it back so you can turn it up if you want to on your end.
I'll pick a date for sentencing. We'll have probation, do a probation sentence. I'm not gonna go right into sentencing right now.
That looks like Jim to me. Doesn't that look like Jim to you right there with the lanyard around his neck? Right here behind the court officers? Watch as it plays a little bit forward. Hold on. We're not going to go right into sentencing right now. I'm going to try and get probation or something. Maybe it's not Jim. I don't know. It kind of looks like him.
All right, Ms. Beatty?
It is Jim,
Can I
right?
just have 1 minute to consult with the family?
Yes, of course.
Is tomorrow available?
No, may I please? I would be asking,
She's ready to go tomorrow. She's like, can we sentence him tomorrow? Reddington's like, yeah, no. See my first rodeo? No. A lot of people are saying the ADA was weak. Mass Dad, you might be right about that. Let's take this back a second. Because look at how many court officers are standing around him, first of all. That's a big presence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't see anybody sitting on Katie's side. There's one man right here. I can't see if that's Steve Rocca or not. Her children, I don't think are there. Maybe they couldn't. I don't know. She's like, can we go tomorrow? Can we sentence him tomorrow?
Is tomorrow available?
no, may I please? I would be asking that the court would order a pre-sentence investigation. So I would ask that we defer sentencing for however long it takes for probation to do that.
All right, is there any objection to that?
I don't know that I have a basis to object.
Okay. All right. Do you know how long that will take?
Usually a couple of weeks, I think, for probation. I don't know if, yeah, probation's here.
I
Margaret?
see SD. Is that SD?
My experience, Your Honor, is here in Dedham, here and in Plymouth and Barnstable, the three counties I know, generally about 2 weeks tops, 3 weeks tops.
All right, so let's put it over perhaps the week of May 5th.
May 7th, the Wednesday. But maybe we could do it at noon,
Sure.
for about a little time.
Just have a minute, please.
Yes. Do you want to check with the family, Ms. Beatty?
Yeah, that would be fine.
That's not a great day. I also don't have my
I
calendar
think
with
it's the
me,
probation
I'm
department
realizing.
that does the
So
pre-sentence
Can we pick a date,
investigation.
but then
So
if we need to reschedule with the clerk, especially after we hear from probation about how much time we need, Mr. Reddington,
up to
Yep, that would
20.
what other day that week could you do?
Let me ask if May 15th might work. That's the following Thursday.
I'm told by probation they need a month, so that's
Okay.
May 15th? Or, I'm sorry, what date did you?
Whatever
May
date you
15th,
schedule is fine.
Which is a Thursday?
Okay.
Even if I'm on trial, I'm sure a judge will allow me to come here for sentence.
You want to do it at 12 that day, Margaret?
Or,
I like Margaret. I really like Margaret. Margaret's my new favorite court clerk in Norfolk Superior. Margaret showed everyone the bingo numbers when she pulled them.
The 15th, which is a Thursday? Why don't we do it at noon?
Can we do it at 2? Only because I've got like 10 cases in Fall River Superior, and I'm just going to continue all of those and be here.
We can do the 16th at 2, if you want to do that.
16th is fine.
That's Friday.
Yep. I have to be in Dedham anyway. That's perfect.
so May 16th at 2?
Yes.
Mr. Tuerk, the jury having returned a lesser included verdict of voluntary manslaughter, you remain held on a minimus without bail. Your matter is continued to May 16th at 2 p.m. for sentencing. Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you.
Yeah, probation is the department. Yeah, we'll go over that in a second.
Take your time.
He can't even stand up. I think he thought he was getting murder 1 based on his testimony. It landed on murder 2. You think the family's behind him? I mean, that's the best result he could have hoped for. That's a huge win for Reddington. Huge win. Not so much for the DV victims in Massachusetts, but
Is he in her lobby? Oh, okay.
right. So the jury was out yesterday for about an hour, and then they continued today, and I think they came back around 3:30 because that's when my phone started blowing up when I was doing all the pre-prom stuff. Probation is a procedure to figure out if he can get any deals off sentences based off his behavior. It's not probation like going home, right? And it's the probation department. Massachusetts, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it the probation department that runs the whole pre-sentence investigation procedure. Maybe he's in jail, and the whole time he's been in jail, he's been, helping taking care of patients, or, who knows, good behavior, great guy, really great guy, never choked anybody before or strangled anybody before. Wasn't really a bogus restraining order though, was it? I don't know. I'm having a little bit of a hard time with this. On top, thank you so much for your super sticker. On top says certainly prom queen arrest my case on my prom. Thank you though. MMG Entertainment is here. Thanks for being with me for 11 months. It's me, Amanda from Detroit. You look so good. Oh, thank you. It's nighttime lighting. It's Melanie after dark. Thank you. Cyber Chicken Boston is here. Says thank you for your compassion. Never change. I've heard from so many of Katie's family members and friends, and stop. And I've heard so many wonderful stories about her. And somebody wrote me in response to the person who called into, somebody else's show the other night. And there's always at least 3 sides to every story. And out of respect for that person, I'm not going to read that comment to you, because it's not a tit for tat thing. Katie's never coming back. Katie can't speak for herself. And it's really sad. And my words will come to me. Amara, thank you so much. Says, I'm honestly mad. He unalived her and he left her in the pond. What? WTF? Yeah. The Goodmans are here. They gifted 5 memberships and they're always so very generous. Thank you, Goodmans. Kelly, welcome to the Court of Massachusetts Facts. The longer it went on, the more it was becoming apparent to me that this was going to be manslaughter. So I'm not shocked, disappointed, but not shocked. I think maybe it was a compromise verdict, We went over the charges the other day and what was required for each charge, and we listened to the jury instructions very carefully. Thanks, Nikki, for becoming a member. Murder in the first degree required premeditation and intent, right? And we learned that there's no specific time of premeditation. There's no set time. You don't have to be thinking about it and planning it for a year, a week, a day. It could be even just seconds. Murder 2 is that you do an act to another person where you intend to cause grievous bodily injury or harm, and it results in death. And that's kind of where I was. And he grabbed her around the neck with one hand. He's enormous. His hands are enormous. We saw his hands because Kevin Reddington grabbed his hand in closing and held it up for all to see. These giant hands, and grabbed her right here where he knew it would cut off the blood flow to her brain. He knew that it would put her out in however many seconds. And he's a doctor. He didn't try and save her life. He didn't call 911. He claims that he tried to do CPR on the bed, but even people who aren't physicians know that you don't do CPR on a bed because it doesn't work. And what I find so wild about Massachusetts law is that the alcohol here was a mitigating factor. And that's where the voluntary manslaughter came in. That if you found that he was so drunk that he didn't know what he was doing, that you could find him guilty of voluntary manslaughter. And so I think that's there's not a lot of jurisdictions allow somebody to say, I was so hammered, I didn't know what I was doing. And that entitles you to a lesser charge, right? How many states do not even allow any sort of insanity defense or diminished capacity defense at all? But in Massachusetts, if you're hammered enough and you kill somebody, they may just find you guilty of manslaughter instead of murder in the second degree, where you actually intended to cause grievous bodily injury or harm and it resulted in someone's death. And I find that really, and that's what I find so crazy too, Trevor, Bo Bever, is that if everyone in Massachusetts drinks and drives, everyone in Massachusetts is hammered all the time. We've watched a lot of trials in Massachusetts, so I'm not just generalizing about this one, but he said that he was so hammered when he drove through that Elvis Chapel in Las Vegas that he didn't even remember getting married. And he was so hammered the night that he choked Katie, because he wouldn't admit that he strangled her. He choked her because he was very particular about his word choice. And he made sure to say how hammered he was many, 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 many times. And that he blacked out and that he didn't remember if he was on the floor or on the bed. And that was all by design. And I told you that's what good defense attorneys do. They prep their clients with the jury instructions and they work backwards. And they say, if the jury finds this, they're instructed to find you guilty of manslaughter. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Don't lie. But I'm just telling you, This is what the jury instruction is going to be. And so I think that's wild. Make it make sense to me that finding that somebody's hammered enough or on drugs that it gets them a lesser charge, because it is an aggravating factor when it comes to driving, right? Vehicular manslaughter under the influence will get you more time in jail. So I'm a little, I'm not saying you're all drunks in Massachusetts, but James is. And so, yeah, they did. The verdict is in. Voluntary manslaughter. That is the lowest charge that they could find. And so maybe they took a straw man poll. Some people, like this chat was split, a third, a third, a third. A lot, yes. The way that he was prepped was a lot of similarities to the way that Jen McCabe testified. Oh, what is that you're looking at? Can I see it? Right? I don't remember. I don't recall. I got no memory of anything at all. Yes, that was the verdict. I think it's sad for her family. And people who say that they thought that this was going to be the verdict, just tell me why. Was it because of he was so hammered? Or was it because in some way you thought that she deserved it? I mean, that's really because there were a lot of comments like, she took half his house. She deserved it. And that's what's so wild to me. Like, I didn't see the jury question. I could not even find it on there. Can you tell me what the jury question was? How could a jury in Karen Reed's case not even agree whether or not John O'Keefe was hit by a car? This man confessed. This man confessed. And people in the chat and in the comments were like, well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, as if she was the one who did something wrong, as if she was the one who had restraining orders against her exes. And then we said in the chat, somebody said in the chat, what are the odds that 2 of her exes would have also been abusive? And I said, probably 100 out of 100. If you know, you know. Oh, the question was, can we see the autopsy report? Oh, that's interesting. And she said, no, it wasn't evidence. Because they did get to bring a lot of stuff back with them. They got a transcript of his confession. They got all the chalks. They got the typed up jury instructions to bring back with them. So they did get a lot of things. Jen says, neither. I believe it was not proved that he intended to kill her. But he didn't see murder too. He doesn't have to intend to kill her. The intent would have been just to do bodily injury, grievous bodily injury or harm, knowing that it could result in a death. He's a doctor. Does he know that if he grabs someone right here with his giant ham hock hands, that he might, in fact, kill her? I go with yes on that. I landed on yes, and that's where I landed. Reddington presented it a certain way, and he was effective. Yeah. I mean, did they find that the alcohol was a mitigating factor? Because remember Sarah Boone, who, by the way, I was not on Sarah Boone's side. So whoever's out there saying you're always on the side of the woman, no, not Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone was hammered. Sarah Boone was absolutely hammered. And that was not a mitigating factor in Florida. So make it make sense. Like, I don't think Sarah Boone intended to kill him. Like, I think she was hammered. She put him in the suitcase and she passed out. So I don't know, different jurisdictions, different rules, different mitigating factors. He could have stopped at any point during the act, and he didn't. He also could have called 911, but instead he went and put her body in the passenger seat of his car, drove to the abandoned pond in his boxer shorts and his flip-flops, put her in the pond, and then when he saw that she was not sinking, he went and got some giant boulders and put them in her yoga pants. You think he was defending himself? Daniel, you can't. Okay. You honestly think that he was in fear for his life because Katie McLean had a cocktail glass in her hand? First of all, we worked it out. He's kneeling in front of her. She's right-handed. She's got the glass in her right hand. If she was to smack him with the glass, she would have smacked him in the right side of his head, not the left side of his head. Do you think that he was afraid of death? You think it was self-defense? I mean, that's interesting. That's interesting and that's scary. And then Debbie says, he seemed like his whole life he was a good guy, and his whole life crumbled quickly when he was with her, not blaming her, but his was losing everything. I don't see this for first-degree murder. I didn't see it as first degree either, but riddle me this, Deb. What if I was to tell you that he had restraining orders against him other times by other women? Would that change your mind? Because the jury didn't get to hear about that. He also married her. He had had a wedding. It was canceled. They weren't just together for 5 weeks. They were together for 2 years. When you get married without a prenup, which is what he did, I mean, is Massachusetts a community property state? Are you guys 50-50 there? Pattern DV behavior. Thank you, Sharon. How about you don't put your hands on your spouse? How about you don't put your hands on anybody? Right? If Ashley Benefield didn't have a weapon in the room when she was being confronted by Doug Benefield, she could have wound up dead with his bare hands because, again, this is a bare hand murder here. Right? Not community property. I don't know. Look, it was a win for Reddington. He did a great job. Matt, I saw your comment fly by. I was thinking the same. I was thinking he's already served 5. Maybe I don't know, this judge. I don't know about this judge and his sentencing. Isn't he usually a civil court judge? So I don't know if he has much of a sentencing record, but maybe they'll give him another 10. Maybe he'll give him 15 with credit for time served. I don't know. We'll see. 2 p.m. on May 16th. Right? He was a fraud. He defrauded Medicare. Thanks, David Reese, and he had to pay a $150,000 fine. Wow. John says, depends on how you see it. I see it as she put her hands on him first. I think it was the right ruling. So you think if a woman puts hands on you, that it's okay for you to put hands on her? I mean, are you serious right now? It's okay if a woman hits you first, that you can hit her back? Oh, I'm learning a lot about my chat right now. That was John Hoagland. But that was a bogus restraining order. Wow. Of course he's serious. Borderline. She hit him first, so he could do whatever. He had to defend himself against a 5'7", 130-pound woman, and he was 6'3" and 250 and had giant hands, and wow. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say to that. Does it have to do with a woman versus a man or a man versus a woman? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know if that's in response to what I'm saying, or if it's always the one's fault, right? Right, and there was no proof that she hit him with anything, right? That was his story. She's not around to tell her side of the story. What if he smashed the glass in his own head after he realized that he killed her? Because remember then he said when he took her out to the pond, he just wanted to put her down. Wanted to put her down like a dog, like you would take your pet, put her down, right? Just wanted to put her down. Really? I agree. A man has a right to defend himself. Wow. No, I guess we are going there. I guess we're going there. That's wild to me. And that's a woman who's saying that. Man has a right to defend himself? Really? So it was cool. It was cool that he choked her right around the carotids, really, with his hand and just put her out. And he was so hammered that he gets cool. Wow. All right, I'm gonna pivot right now to the differences between this case and the Karen Reed case, which went on right next door. The first of which is the Commonwealth, in this case against Harry Tuerk, did not call the children in to testify, did not call any of Katie's 3 children to testify and put them through that hellhole trauma. And they also did not call either of Harry's children to testify, which I thought was a pretty classy move on behalf of the Commonwealth, unlike in the Karen Reed trial where they're dragging in the niece and nephew of John O'Keefe to come and, lay some shade on Karen Reed. So that's kind of gross. And I think that was a really stark difference here. I think Reddington showed a lot of class not calling those witnesses. And I think the Commonwealth also showed a lot of class not calling those witnesses, because what do children who are 13, 17, and 18 at the time of a relationship, I don't know how old Harry's kids were, but I think they were kind of around the same age. What are they going to add? Is the value added going to be worth the trauma of putting them on the stand and having them testify? I don't think so. Also, another difference in this trial was that objections were allowed to be stated. We saw a lot of objections argued, not at sidebar, in open court, where we heard the basis for the objections and the judge would rule on them. Another stark difference is that this judge was very quiet. Half the time we forgot he was there. Sometimes hours would go by. We didn't even hear from the judge at all. And we kind of forgot he was even in the room. It was crazy. And the other stark difference is that when they chose the alternates, the judge chose the 4-person first. He chose seat number 1, which in New York, that's the way it always is. Whoever is randomly winds up in seat number 1 is always the 4-person in New York. In this case, the judge chose the 4-person. And then the numbers were all put into the little bingo drum. And all the attorneys saw all the numbers going in. And then when Margaret pulled out the alternates, she picked them up and she showed everyone the number. Much different than it was in the Karen Reed trial, because that was done very secretively. And I think somebody posted something and I think I saved it so that we can look at those side by side, just to see the difference on video. Let me see if I did save it. Or maybe somebody emailed it to me. Hang on. Okay, let's see. One second. We also got to see Dr. La Posada testify, she's going to be an expert witness in the Karen Reed trial. And she came in by Zoom because she said she had a medical condition. And you can let me know what you thought of her testimony, Dr. La Posada. What about a civil suit by her children? Yeah, there could be a wrongful death case. Does he have anything, though? Does he have any assets? Is there anything left? Has he spent all his money on his lawyer? I mean, you can sue somebody. Doesn't mean you're ever going to collect. I mean, the fact that he's been found guilty of taking her life bodes well for them in a wrongful death case, sure. But what are they going to be able to collect? Has there been one filed? I don't know if there has been. If anybody has that, I thought somebody sent it to me. Hang on a second. Yes, you did send it to me because you guys are the best. All right, let's watch this. Chris with a K sent this to me. Hold on. We're going to watch Jim pull the numbers in the Karen Reed case. And then we're going to watch Margaret pull the numbers for the alternates in the Tuerk case. Hang on one second. Chris, you said 4:23, but you didn't mean 4 minutes and 23 seconds. You mean 4 hours and 23 minutes?
All rise.
right, Bart. So he's just,
Could the juror sitting in seat number 3, who is juror 79, step down and take your place as an alternate?
look, he didn't show anybody. He just grabs it in his hand and it
And the juror
doesn't.
sitting in seat number 2, juror 14.
All right. So, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen, we need to swear in the court officers. They're going to be in charge of you during.
And that was it, right? Look, hold on. I'm going to watch that again. Because I don't know if what was discussed at sidebar, they might have asked to see them and they were shut down. But it's not very transparent, is it? Let's watch that again. This was on day 31. And it was the same day as closing arguments.
Could the juror sitting in seat number 3, who is juror 79, step down and take your place as an alternate?
Watch the judge.
And the juror sitting in seat number 2, juror 14.
All right. So, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen, we need to swear in the court officers. They're going to be in charge of you during your deliberations. I suggest that you listen to the oath that they are taking so that you can.
And that was it. That was it. There was no, he didn't show them. You want to see it again? All right, we'll see it. We'll watch it again. Sure. Sure. I'll allow it. And listen to the drum when he spins the little drummy thing.
Could the juror sitting in seat number 3, who is juror 79, step down and take your place as an alternate? And the juror sitting in seat number 2, juror 14.
Those were two very pro-Karen Reed jurors, according to people who had been sitting in the courtroom for the whole trial.
All right. So, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen, we need to swear in the
He's
court
like, wait, I'm
officers.
not
They're
done.
going to be in.
Wait, I'm not done. Maybe I want to kick somebody else off the jury. Hold on a second. Michael says it sounded like he put them back into the drum right as she begins to speak. No way to check them. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Let's see if I can find the footage of Margaret. Hold on. Here we go. Wish we could have Margaret. I vote for Margaret and Judge Hallal. Hang on. Okay.
Our Constitution calls for a jury of 12. We have a jury of 12 plus 4 alternates. So 4 of you need to be alternates. The way we do it is with this contraption over here that's, I think, just as old as the courthouse is. And we put the numbers in with the exception of the 4-person, and then Ms. Santa will pull out 4 numbers, and those jurors will be alternates. But I know it's frustrating if you're selected as an alternate. I just wanted to apologize in advance.
The time having come for the final submission of the case to the jury and a panel of 16 members being present, I shall now place the numbers of all the jurors except the 4-person and draw 4 who shall be designated as alternate jurors.
See, she had them all right on the table. Everybody could come and look at them. Love Margaret. She's pulling all 4 of them out, and then she's going to hold them up one by one. And listen to the sound.
Juror in seat 16, juror in seat 14, juror in seat 5, and juror in seat 6.
Full
You've
transparency.
each been designated as alternate juror to be kept separate and apart from the deliberating jury.
Okay.
Full transparency, right? Right? It's like watching the lottery, right? Tonight's numbers are, and here's Yolanda Vega. We had Yolanda Vega Yolanda Vega would pull the Powerball numbers. Was it Powerball, Scott? I don't remember. Yolanda Vega, she came on every night and she would pull the lottery numbers and it was like the same exact thing. Okay, Britt says, can you talk about the wrongful death suit to come? Will he have money left when he gets out? I don't know. I have no idea what his finances are. We know that they sold that the house was sold because we looked at this the low listing on that. I don't know what his I'm sure he spent all his money on his lawyers. He may have nothing left. He may, maybe part of his conditions will be that he has to be deported to Germany and never step foot in the United States again. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to work out. We'll see what the pre-sentence investigation says when they come back on May 16th. Denise became a member. Welcome, Denise. On top says, Ham Hawks have entered the chat. Please, something the court Bev cancels Exhibit 1A. I don't know. What do you want? On top, you're killing me. You're killing me. It's gifted 10 memberships. Thank you. Goodness, you're amazing. You're amazing. Sweet Lorraine says, when will men understand they are much stronger physically than women? I don't know. There's a lot of chatters who seem to think that it was okay. It was okay. There's nothing wrong with hitting back or just hitting in the first place, hitting first, hitting back. Emily Jane says, women are abusers too. Everyone has a right to defend themselves. No matter what gender you are, keep your hands to yourself if you don't want hands put back on you. Simple as that. Oh, cool. Got it. See where you stand, Emily. On top, no, it's never right to put hands on a female. Leave, or if no option is left to restrain until I'm frightened right now. I'm frightened for my daughters. If that is the prevailing, and women are saying it's cool. It's cool if you smack a guy in the face because you get pissed off at something. It's cool that he chokes you out. That's cool. Got it. I'm. Dr. Russell's gasps is here and says, I've been a CO for 20 plus years. He should serve a few more years. And with probation, use his education, et cetera, to benefit humanity somehow. Yeah, that's a hard job being a CO. I can't even imagine what that's like. You're doing the Lord's work. I can't even imagine how that would be. I can't even imagine what that would be like. Courtney with a K, Melanie, you're so loyal. Thanks for being the voice for many DV victims who receive very little understanding. I've spent, decades of my career advocating for women and men of clergy, SA, DV, sexual harassment, and all kinds of horrific things that need to have a light shined on it, because I think that a lot of people don't get it. You're frightened for my daughter too if she's going to hit a man? Oh, Daniel Taylor, you just found yourself with a one-way ticket to fucking Block Island, dude. Okay? Enjoy it. It's supposed to be really nice this time of year. You're an asshole. Goodbye. I don't care if you have a cupcake next to your name. Who do you think you are? I gotta find this message now so I can send this asshole out of here. Got it? No, this person needs to be banned. Banned. Like just deleting that message is not good enough. And I'm gonna scroll through here until I find it. I don't care how long it takes. Can I find it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and find it later because that's not good enough. Wow. Well, it's been real fun hanging out with you guys tonight. I think I'm going to go do something a little bit more fun than this. Goodmans, thanks for the 5. Always have to top me, Mr. G. You should not be left alone at your mother's. Love you, Mom. Oh, that's so nice. That is so nice. If you guys have any other glaring differences that you would like to point out between this case and the Karen Reed case, feel free. He's out of here, but I don't know if you got rid of him for good. But his comment was, this is Daniel Taylor with a cupcake next to his name. I'm frightened for your daughter too, if she's going to hit a man. Yep. So you think it's okay for women to hit men? Do you think that it's okay that if first of all, we don't even know that she really hit him. First of all, we don't even really know that she hit him. We're taking his word for it. She's dead. He's had prior restraining orders against him by other women, right? Oh, he just got a gifted membership. That explains it. Cool. Um, I don't even know how to explain this. Are you? First of all, we don't even know if she hit him. Second of all, do you think that that if you were like angry at a guy and you smacked him across the face, let's just say, and you're half his size, that it's okay for him to choke you out and kill you? Like, are you legitimately saying to me that you think that's cool? Yeah. Don't ever come for my kids. I'm out of here. All right, you guys have a great night. It was real fun. This was a really fun trial to do. I don't even know who you people are. Who are you? Who are you people? Who are you people? He absolutely abused women before. In general, it's okay for women to hit men. No, I'm not saying that. There are women abusers and there are men abusers too. A lot of you who don't understand the cycle of domestic violence, you should feel very, very lucky that you don't, and that you've never worked with people who are victims or survivors. You should feel very, very lucky. Feel lucky that that you have no idea what the cycle of domestic violence is. Maybe there is no such thing as a gentleman anymore. Maybe that's what it is. Wow. Thank you, Thomas, who came in and said it's never acceptable for a man to hit a woman. Like, what? 2025. Like, what? Is there no such thing as like gentlemen anymore? I'm horrified. Absolutely horrified. Yeah, I guess so. I guess. Chivalry is officially dead. But in Massachusetts, if you're drunk enough, if you're hammered enough, buys you a lesser charge. So there's that. That's cool. If you're so hammered that you did not remember doing it, cool. That's cool. She abused men? Really? You have proof of that? Some of you people are just gross. I'm out of here. Have a great night. Beetlejuice Breenan says, my almost 40-year-old son just had the crap beaten out of him by his drunk long-term girlfriend. Well, that's horrific. She beat him till he was bloody and bruised. He walked away. That's what a real man does. He never laid a finger on her. That's horrific. That's horrific. And hopefully you can help him get out of that such situation. But in this case, Katie had no history of that. There was no history of that here. He made up a story that she hit him with a glass. She's not here to defend herself. Yeah, I think the entire state of Massachusetts needs an intervention. Oh, that's nice, Martha. Martha had a young man get up from an outside table at a restaurant to open the door for her today. She walks with a cane. I thanked him over and over. You know, it's like, used to be like you'd be on the subway, there'd be no seats, somebody get up and give you a seat. It's not like that anymore. If somebody holds the door for me, I'm like, thank you so much. And men are usually like, oh, well, of course. Wow. It's more, it's not the norm, I guess, anymore. It's not. Beatty says she didn't deserve to die at all. He's wrong. But I think she also didn't help herself with her past. What do you know about her past? What do you know about her past? What do you know about it exactly? Do you know her personally? Do you have any prior restraining orders that were filed against her? And what does that mean? Because she was married 3 times? I don't even know what that means. Because some anonymous person called into another person's show to talk trash about a woman who can't defend herself, when, by the way, you want to hear the emails I've received about that person who's got an axe to grind? What was that about? Who does that? Who does that? Who does that? I learned a lot of stuff about that person that I'm not going to share with you because I have too much class to do that. So I'm out. Have a great night, you guys. I'll see you maybe real soon. Enjoy your evening.